It is now my great pleasure to give the floor to the Honorary Anthony Kennedy, the Senior Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. Justice Kennedy.
Your Majesty, Excellencies, and my fellow citizens from nations around the world who are committed to preserving the idea and the reality of the rule of law and the freedom that it must always preserve. Some of your organizers asked me to mention the first World Jurist Conference that it was my pleasure to attend, which was in China in the year 2005. My lecturing had taken me rather frequently in those days to China, and the judges were preparing for the agenda. And without meaning to intrude, I phoned the president, President Greenberg at the time, and he said, "Oh, go ahead and help them." So it was fascinating to meet with the judges and to see how excited they were about the possibility of having a world-based organization talk in their country about judicial independence and judicial integrity. They had real hope that they would be seen as judges in the rest of the world because of their independence and their integrity, which they thought they might be able to reach. In part of my preparation for teaching in China for many years, it was fascinating to read the works of Confucius, he didn't write, but they preserved by writers like Mencius, just like you would never have heard of Socrates without Plato. Mencius talked about Confucius. Mencius tells this story, and he wrote this in 500 BCE, 500 years BCE. He told the story of a man walking through a distant country far from his own, and he sees a small child ready to crawl to the top of the well where he can fall in. Does the stranger have a duty to rescue the child? The answer, 500 years BCE, before the Christian era, was yes. Throughout the world, the human instinct is that there is a moral duty. The human has certain moral duties. Regardless of your of religion or your nationality, we are united in a sense of what is morally right. Now, there are some even who hold positions of leadership in tyrannical countries today who are sociopaths and psychopaths and who do not believe in morality. But they are not representative of the humankind that we ought to be and the humankind that we are. Should the duty to rescue that's moral be put into a legal obligation? Even as we speak here today, the so-called duty to rescue, which is the way the law refers to this, is the subject of debate in certain states. In Europe, the duty is generally more extensive than it is here. But we are united in this idea that we have a moral framework that we share and that unites us in the rule of law. Some of your organizers asked me today to mention what we talked about in the panel, which is that it's the duty of the judge to remember what the oracle at Delphi said, know thyself. Every judge, every day, in every case, must ask himself, must ask herself, who am I? Why am I about to rule this way? Generally, the judge will know what to do, follow the law, follow precedent. But the judge owes it to that litigant to ask the question, who am I? And the judge may find that despite his initial or her initial inclinations, there's a new horizon, a new vista, which takes the rule of law and the freedom it protects to new horizons, the horizons that this association seeks always to meet. Thank you very much.